today. Hannah Holzmann and Christian Fanfelle. Welcome to both of you. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, Hannah, get a little bit closer for you on that microphone there. I want to start with Hannah because the last time you were here in June, and I think you were about ready to go on a mission trip.
Yes.
How was that?
It was really, really awesome. We were there for about 2 weeks, and we just did a lot of work with the locals and stuff like that.
What was the most fun part of that experience?
Well, we did go on a safari.
Oh, yeah?
That was really, really cool. We saw.
What country did you go to?
Kenya.
Okay. So you had a safari. You got to help out some of the local. Was it like a Habitat for Humanity type thing, or?
It was not. The people we stayed with they're actually in town right now. They got in town last Thursday, and we stayed with them. They're the old sports pastors at our church, and they have a thing that they do down there called AHKI, which is Advancing His Kingdom International, and they kind of teach people how to minister, and so that they can kind of spread the word down there and everything. So.
And then you right after that you came back and played some golf tournaments, right?
Yeah, a week after I got back, I played in the Junior Valero, and then the next week I played up in Abilene at the Bob Estes tournament.
How's your summer been on the golf course?
It's been really well. I didn't play a ton of tournaments, but it's been going really well. Just working on getting new clubs and all that.
All right, what are you getting?
All ping. So.
It's not a bad thing.
She's a ping girl.
Yeah. I've been a ping guy for especially with irons for a long time.
Yeah. She's won her last 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's won her last 4
The
Texas
TJs.
Junior Golf Tour tournaments, the TJGT.
That's cool.
It's been pretty good so far.
All right, let's introduce Christian Fanfelle to our show. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to and what you've been doing this summer besides winning golf tournaments.
I mean, there's been a lot of golf this summer. Not really much else than just practicing. I've been doing school during the summer too, trying to get ahead because I'll actually be graduating in December and then going to UTSA in January. So that'll be really fun.
It's interesting. Football and basketball players are doing the graduating early and going to school early, so they can catch up on academics, but then also be in front of those coaches kind of in a year where they're not playing to kind of get an idea of what the rigors of college life's going to be. Talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. That's our plan. So I'm going to try to go there for the spring semester, and I'm just going to go there in redshirt and just be on part of the team, but I won't be playing in any like UTSA tournaments. But I'm just there just to learn about the college life and get used to it. So when I do play in the fall, it'll be a much easier transition.
All right, so you go there in the spring and you're doing your studies and you're getting everything worked up. When do you start playing in tournaments again? Not necessarily college tournaments, but I assume you'll start playing in the summer or the spring, some of the other events?
Yeah, I'll probably be playing a lot of amateur events during that time. I just won't be playing any like team events with UTSA.
Right. All right. First of all, why UTSA? Why did you choose the Roadrunners?
When I visited a couple other schools like SMU and stuff, and when I visited there, it just felt like really cozy, like family based. Like I just felt like really like I was part of UTSA. I didn't really feel that anywhere else really, so I just want to be a part of that team.
You know,
He was at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And
Did you play Carson Craig?
SMU.
No, I didn't.
Those kind of places. So he's being a little humble. So there's a bunch of places that they wanted him.
Well, it's interesting too because it all comes down to having the right fit. I mean, Oklahoma State's a storied program, and so is SMU. But if you don't fit there and you feel more comfortable at UTSA or wherever, that's a better thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Wesley, he does have a foundation, correct?
Yeah. We have a fundraising thing that we used to do through the AJGA, through Leadership Links, and we just raised money for JDRF, and it worked on like however many birdies I made in a tournament, people would donate money for that, and half would go to JDRF and half would go to the ACE grant program for AJGA, which would help kids with not a lot of money so they can play tournaments.
And that was the JDRF?
Yeah, JDRF, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
Okay, cool. Why that charity?
I have diabetes, and we wanted to help give back and help the research program, see if they can find anything else to help other people with type 1 diabetes too.
Living with that, and that's the type that you're born with, basically, not that you get from eating too much sugar. But how do you have to manage your lifestyle? Because not only are you trying to do that and stay healthy, but there's a fine line between that and also the nutrition that you have to be able to play golf.
Yeah, I really have to like watch what I eat. It's not a lot of carbs. You try to stay off of them so you don't have to take a lot of insulin. But as long as you manage it well, it doesn't really affect your daily lifestyle very much. But if you don't manage it well, it can really mess you up, especially when you're golfing.
And you have to eat regularly, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. John Knauer at UTSA and Summer Batiste, the new coach at UTSA for the women. The programs at UTSA for golf have really taken off. I remember in the late 90s, they had some really good players, and then it kind of went away for just a little while, and then all of a sudden it started to blossom. We'll start with you, Christian. Talk about that team and the successes that they're having. Every time I see a press release, they're finishing higher and higher in tournaments.
Yeah, they've taken I think all top fives except one for this year for that fall year. They picked up two really good freshmen, Michael Rome and Chad Sewell. They were great. That was one of the best recruiting classes that they've had so far, and they just keep recruiting better and better. So I mean, they're doing a really good job over there.
And Hannah, you're going to UTSA as well, right?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's get the lowdown from that. What did you like about your visit? And I know Summer got the job this past summer, so she used to play at UTSA, so she's been there as a player and as assistant coach and now as a coach.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm super excited about. Just the second that I met her, she was just super inviting, and I just felt super comfortable around her and just being able to talk about what I want in college and then after college and all that. So it was really cool.
Were there any other considerations?
There weren't very many, no. I had been contacted by a few others, but I wanted to stay close to home, first of all, so I could be around everyone. And I love the weather down here, so it was...
Yeah, you can practice whatever you want.
Yeah, that was one of the main things. I want to be able to practice.
I got a lot of phone calls. It just wasn't once she decided pretty quickly, Summer did a great job of just following her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But every time you went to a tournament, there was 8 coaches out watching, various from TCU, A&M. UT called me at least 4 times. And the third time I told him, I think she's going to UTSA. I think you might want to move on. Because he's a really nice guy, and I didn't want to just keep pursuing. But Summer did a great job on that end, pretty quickly, too.
It's good to be wanted, though.
Oh, yeah, it's really cool.
What is the best thing about her game, and what have you worked on, Joe, to make her even better?
I think how long have we been together? Since you were 9?
9 years, yeah.
9. It's been a long time, and she's. Once I figured that she was going to have a lot of power, we spent a whole year just hitting wedges, and then I took the driver out of her bag for 6 to 8 months, where the only thing she could do was hit 3-wood and learn how to play from that point. And then we made her very aggressive. Just every par 5, go for it. Anybody can lay up and play from that point.
Laying up's not fun.
No. It's just not fun. She doesn't lay up. So I think the ability to strike the golf ball is like UTSA's one of their special parts of that golf program is UTSA 24. And one who headed that whole thing is Mr. John Koth. And we all went out and played the other day at Briggs, and she was standing 189 uphill into hole 11 into the wind playing 202 and just blasted a 4-iron right at it, and he just looked at me and go, that's different.
Yeah.
So it's her ability to strike the golf ball, the love of the game. All right. I mean, when you look at a 9-year-old girl, 10-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl, watching her grow, Christmas is coming around. What'd you get? Oh, I got a golf club.
Yeah. That does the golf balls.
Right. So it was nothing more than the love of the game what made her great.
Talk about that, Hannah, the love of the game for you, because so many kids your age are into the social media thing, and that's their entire life. I know I have daughters at home that live on it, and they don't necessarily enjoy the heat and the elements being outside. What was it for you that made you gravitate to golf and continue with it for the last 10 years or so?
Well, obviously, I love being outside. I pay attention to everything, and I'm also homeschooled, so it's really nice to be able to meet people outside of doing other things, and I enjoy the weather. observing everything.
Does your parents play golf?
My dad somewhat does. He doesn't as much.
So when was the first time you beat him?
The first time I played.
Okay.
I'd say the granddad was the one that really played and took her around a lot when Dad was finishing school and working hard.
Now, so when did you beat your granddad? How long did it take for that to happen?
Not very long.
Yeah. Well, I can remember the first time I played golf with my dad on a regulation golf course. He said, "Okay, I'll give you 2 shots a hole," and I think I was shooting in the mid 110, 115s, and he was shooting in the 80s. So that was a fairly good deal. And then about a year later, it was, "Okay, I'm only going to give you a shot a hole." And then by the time I was in high school, I didn't need any shots. So
Yeah, I think and a lot of local pros like David Ogren and now Cameron Beckman have played with her a lot, take her with her. To show her a few things just to shore up the final. We're looking at a girl that swings at 104 with the driver. So the ball is in the air a long, long time for her. And she's bored at 6,100 yards, and that's where they play from. And it's like driver pitch. And so we're honing in the game and just if we can not bang the putter so much, we'll be...
we'll talk about that coming up here in just a second. 736-9760 if you'd like to join us on the show. Before we get any further, I need to tell you about KM Builders, because if you're going to remodel your home, KM Builders is the place you need to go. Whether it's a kitchen, a bathroom, you want to add on to your house to add another.
My dad kind of got me into it when I was about 9. And then I went over to Joe's, and I had a different coach, and he went to Canada, I want to say. I don't really remember. It was when I was 9. But then he gave me over to Joe, and I've been with Joe since I was 10. My dad really just kind of just pushed it until I was like 11, and then I just started loving the game.
Mm-hmm. What do you love the most about it?
Probably the challenge of the game.
You never win. You can only get better, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I played basketball and soccer and baseball all my life, and the challenge that you get from golf is just completely different.
Yeah, here's another one that just truly loved the game. Is, for example, that sometime around 1 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you drove past Canyon Springs, you see the young man on his bicycle with his club strapped to it, pedaling over to the golf course. Park the bike, hop off, and see you. 27 holes, 36 holes later, hop back on the bike and ride it home. I don't see that anymore.
No.
So the love of the game, and then they gave him a scooter.
Yeah.
Didn't have to pedal anymore, huh?
No,
You can save your legs for the golf course.
Yeah.
So, again, the love of the game is just, the two have just great passion for it and love to continue learning. Christian hits the ball very hard. It goes again, like I was telling you, it's like the speed is just tremendous. You can put...
What's his club head speed?
I don't know with the driver. I heard it's in the 120s. I haven't seen it yet.
That's fast.
But the 6-iron, the other day was, with the right shaft in play, goes up to 105 miles an hour. So that's...
You're hitting it at 200 yards with a 6-iron.
Yeah, what's your 6-iron?
Yeah, about 205.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of far. So, yeah, you can go ahead and throw the Titleist Professional down. A brand new one's still going to go that far.
Right.
All right. And his ability, and what I do with my players, they know how to work the ball both ways. All right. And Christian can do anything to the ball. You just have to be a little bit more patient.
Yeah.
Out there. The par's good sometimes.
Yeah.
But their ability to maneuver the ball. So it's great passion for the game, both of them.
David Ogren talks about players going out and playing the golf course more than just beating golf balls on the range. And I'm really enthused about that from my standpoint, because when I was growing up, it was go practice on the range, and I'd be bored with that after about 20 minutes. I wanted to go play the golf course. Talk about the fine line for both of you about practicing and playing, and when you're playing on the golf course, you're still kind of getting your practice session in.
For me, I go to the range just to warm up. I do most of my practice on the golf course. I really feel like it's the better way to really like picture the hole because you're out there, and then play different shots into it. When I'm on the range, I'm just warming up. I mean, if I ever have a practice session on the range, I'm either working on like my routine and stepping into the ball, or I mean, just trying to shape shots. I mean, I'm never really just like banging balls out there trying to hit it straight. I mean, there's really no point of that.
That's true. I mean, with Christian, he hates the driving range. It's more of a warm up and let's go. And a very creative mind. The only time he really spends more than 100 balls is with me when we're actually trying to, polish up something in his right leg. He tends to squat a little bit or back the hands up a little bit behind him in his backswing, or, lower the arms on the follow through. But they're kind of basic grip, maybe a grip change. His hands are really big, and so his grips gets funny at times. But he spent, 27, 36 holes in a day. So, I texted him yesterday, how'd you hit your new irons? He goes, I hit this shot, I did this, They felt great.
Things?
So,
TaylorMade.
TaylorMade?
Yep, TaylorMade.
Okay.
So he does all his creativity on a golf course, and you can see when you play with him, the shot making skills are really high. You don't do that on the range.
Hannah, talk about your practice and playing routine. Do you like being on the golf course, or do you like hanging out at the range?
I really like being on the golf course. There are times when I'll just go out to the range and work on things that Joe's wanting me to work on, use certain tools, but then I'll go out and play, hit maybe 3 balls, like different balls from different spots on each hole, and just work on how to hit those shots off of different lies. So.
I think this is great, and I haven't played a lot of golf this summer. It's not worked out for my schedule and everything. But one of the things I always like to do, and I would do this a lot at La Cantera in the past, because there's nobody on the golf course at 5 o'clock and 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening, and I basically play my own 3-ball scramble. And hit 3 shots, and I know Tiger would take. You always talk about take the worst shot of the 3. I actually wanted to shoot a decent score, so I would take the best of the 3. But just to play the golf course with 3 drives off the first tee, pick the best one, hit 3 layups down to where you're going to hit it on the green, go from there, 3 putts, move on to the next hole, and you can scoot around 9 holes in an hour with nobody on the golf course. So to me, being out on the golf course, because I can't picture the hole on the driving range and go through it. I got to know, and you can't simulate a flop shot over a bunker or a 12-foot putt if you're not on that green.
You can work on it mechanically a little bit on the range and practice areas. The driving range is a good place to work on a few mechanical movements, but at this level of play, like what I like them to do is bang your driver, hit as many as you want off that tee, figure out what side of the tee box feels most comfortable. Like the other day when we played at Briggs, Christian teed it up on the right side, pulled it just a little bit left into the fairway bunker, moved him over to the left, and hit it just absolutely pure shot down there. And he goes, okay, this side. Going into the middle of the fairway is probably the most important. You have 3 sides of the fairway, and believe it or not, one of those sides is going to be very difficult for you to hit the green from. It doesn't matter how far away you are. To the righties, all right, that are right-eye dominant, the right side of the fairway, aiming back left towards the green, especially with the pin that's cut left, is very difficult because they'll pull it back that direction, all right, and they'll miss it 50 yards left of the green, then the next shot is blocked way right. So you stand there and you learn how to hit a particular shot back into that green. We did that with another really prominent player in town, and Garrett Martin. You put him over here on the right side of the fairway, he can't hit a green. Cannot hit the green. I mean, we're all over the place. And you go to the middle, to the left, man, we're 10 feet. Go to the right, he misses. We learned how to hit that shot, and then he wins his next 2 tournaments.
From the school of you learn something all the time, I just learned something because I can remember back in the day where my dad would say, you probably shouldn't go for this pin, and you should aim for the fat part of the green and 2-putt and get your par and move out of here. And I was trying to hit the fat part of the green, but somehow the club just went towards the left or the right or wherever the flag was.
Yeah, and it's at this level of play, they're able to maneuver the ball. So the right side of the fairway, no matter where the pin is more of a hold shot. So it's like, okay. So then they've learned how to do that, and scores keep dropping. The best way to learn how to play and shoot low scores is go to the golf course, like Christian said, and goes, well, I just start hitting shots from that one point. I'll draw it, I'll fade it, I'll low it, and see which one's the best.
All right, before we finish this segment, last thing I want you guys, you talked on the show about, I don't know how long ago it was, but you said that professional golfers have to learn how to hit pitch and chip shots from the short side of the green because they have to go for pins and they got to make birdies or they're not going to win.
Right.
So I want you guys to talk about that and how well you've worked on your short game, especially when you give yourself a difficult shot after missing a green on the short side.
Yeah, I've definitely. Whenever I'm not on the course, I'm working on my short game. I practice at a TPC, and I work on hitting over bunkers, hitting off of tight lies, just pretty much doing everything because you're going to get them on the course. It's not going to be easy. So
Yeah, the short side shots, we put them in those positions all the time because they're going to. I don't care whatever coach said, oh, hit to the fat part of the green.
You're going to lose.
I'm not hitting it good today, coach. I'm going to be short side. Or if I'm going to shoot 64 today, I'm going to short side myself. Learn how to hit the shot.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just another golf shot. All right? Put a 60 in your bag. All right? If you have to, put a 64 in your bag. Pels goes, put some clubs in your bag so you can get the ball up and down. All right? Learn the shot. It's not that hard.
Well, and with the way the golf clubs are being built now, the 5-iron is what used to be a 3.5, maybe a 2 or 3 iron in terms of loft. And if a guy like Christian swinging it, hitting at 225, why do you need a club that's going to go 230 and you can have a couple of wedges?
You play bricks?
Yeah.
All right. So what did we hit on the first hole off the tee, Christian? Driving iron?
Yeah, driving iron.
Oh, yeah, it hits driving iron because the driver goes too far past the fairway.
Right.
What did we hit into the green?
7 iron.
Yeah. Oh, hey, 400 and whatever, 65, 70-yard hole.
Yeah.
We're hitting driving iron and a 7 iron. So am I supposed to tell him not to aim at the flag? Well, if you don't like the angle, okay, then play it off the angle, move it over, all right? But, there's this thing called Decade Golf now where the guy's basically telling you where to look at the green to hit it, most greens, and hit it closer. But you're going to short side yourself. You're going to short side, learn the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Learn how to hit it. I got a story about that to tell you here in the next break. We'll make it part of our tip of the week. 736-9760. More of the Ticket 760 Golf Show coming up next. 8:45 on Ticket 760.
San Antonio Sports Station.
Midst of the Charles Schwab Cup, Paul Goydos and Lee Jansen and Vijay Singh share the lead at -7. LPGA Tour is the Blue Bay LPGA. Shanshan Feng is at -9. That's a one-shot lead there. On the European Tour, the Nedbank Golf Challenge, Scott Jamieson one shot better than Victor Dubuisson. And on the Asian Tour, they are playing in Manila. 2 players at -15 have the lead in that event. All right, we're visiting with Joe Caruso from Joe Caruso Golf Academy and 2 junior golfers, Hannah Holzmann and Christian Fanfelle. I want to get back to the short game stuff. We'll make this part of the tip of the week because there's only about 5 minutes left in the show. Christian, talk about working on your short game and what he was. Joe was just saying about you're going to get short-sighted. You're going to have to learn the shots. I can remember the first golf lesson I took from a chipping standpoint. The instructor took me back after hitting some pitching wedges and some sand wedges and some 6 irons and put me about 3 feet from a tree and said, "Hit it over that tree." I'm like, "You can't be done." He goes, "Oh yeah, I can. I'll show you how." And open the club face, open it, hit down on it as hard as you can. All of a sudden, the ball popped up in the air. Talk about the imagination that you have to have in order to be able to play well around the greens.
It's a lot of experience. The more you practice, the better you're going to be at short game, obviously. I play out at Santerra, and those are raised greens on the North Course. Mm-hmm. So, almost every chip shot that you have is going to be short-sighted. It doesn't really matter where you are because you got to hit the ball so high and the greens are rolling so fast. So, it's just a lot of practice hitting those shots. Once you get used to hitting those shots all the time, it gets simple. But if you're used to just bumping, running it, and then you have to hit a random flop shot, then you might just blade it over the green. So.
Yeah, it's just a shout out to Santerra Country Club. They've done a great job with juniors. It's $125 a month. They can play all the golf they want.
That works.
That works. They got a lot of juniors out there now, and you have to have a pretty good shout out to Santerra for what they're doing. So, and it is raised greens, and the kid practices. They're kind of humble in here right now, but that's all he does. He'll hit the green, kick it off the green, and go hit a shot. So,
how's your putting?
It was very bad this summer. But I went to a Pels clinic in October, and that helped a ton. And I've been putting really well now.
And I know, Hannah, you're working on that too, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely working on just simple things. We're working on aim point right now, just to give me a basis of where to aim and all of that. So.
All right, what's your schedule between now and when you go to UTSA? Are you enrolling in the spring, or are you going next fall?
I'm going next fall.
Okay, so what will you be doing the next 8-9 months before you get there?
Probably just practicing, playing in tournaments. We have California in a few weeks, and then I'm really hoping to play in some USGA qualifiers and LPGA qualifier and all of that. So.
You got that LPGA qualifier up in Dallas.
Yeah.
Where they let the high school girls. Mm-hmm. Was it one spot, Hannah?
Last year it was like 2 or 3.
Ooh, nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and Christian, you're going to do what between now and going to school at UTSA in the spring?
I have one tournament here in San Antonio at Cedar Creek next weekend, and then I have San Diego,
right.
And then I enroll in January 8th, and I'll be at UTSA.
And signing day is today, is that right?
For I think these two are going to sign today, and so is another young lady named Joy Lee at the facility. So we're very honored very humbled out there that they're going to do all the signings out there at the academy today.
So I guess we don't have to worry about junior golf not being in good hands. We've got two pretty good leaders right here.
Yeah, they're really good, and San Antonio is very well represented. You have these two that are signing today. You got 2 more. We have next year. You have 4 that have already committed. So it's in good hands. And there's more players out there.
Christian, what are you looking forward to the most in your college career?
Well, I've been homeschooled for all of high school, so I'm really looking forward to playing like team golf. I think it's gonna be really fun, and I've always kind of performed better on a team like basketball and baseball. So I think it's gonna help me improve my golf game.
What are you gonna study?
Business, accounting, and finance.
All right, if you're gonna make the money, you gotta know what to do with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hannah, what about you? What's your plans at school?
Well, I want to study kinesiology and biomechanics, so I absolutely love it. And then when it comes to golf, I just want to see how I improve, how being on a team helps me improve. I've been homeschooled since 6th grade, so I've never really been on a team. I played enough 4-ball on Thursday, and that was kind of fun to have a partner to kind of do that. So.
Congratulations to both of you. Good luck at UTSA, and go Runners, birds up, and we'll be talking to you down the road. All right. Joe, thanks so much. We'll see you in December.
Thanks, Andy.
And good luck at La Costa. That'll be fun. We'll get a good report on that coming back up when you come back.
Right.
All right, that'll wrap things up for the Ticket 760 Golf Show. UTSA football today's 4 o'clock on the Bull 93.3. Enjoy your Saturday. Hope you get on the golf